Hi everybody, Christos Anesti. So today's lesson is going to be about the man who was crippled and how Jesus then helped him or healed him. So many times we are sad or we're hurt or we feel in pain. And I'll bet that the first person that you go to when you feel like that is your parents. And when you get a cut or something happens and you're sad, you go to your parents and they are the ones who love you and they're the ones who make it all better. Now, sometimes your parents will take you to a doctor because there's something that has to happen at the doctor's office to help you get better.
Will it hurt, Doc?
Dear boy, you won't feel a thing.
Oh, no. No!
This is a story now about somebody who was very sick, and Jesus was the one who was the great doctor and helped him to get better. Our story begins today in the big city of Jerusalem. So that's the capital of Israel. And if you remember Palm Sunday, what do we do on Palm Sunday? We take our palms and we wave our palms as Jesus comes through the city, and everybody now is celebrating the fact that Jesus is coming into Jerusalem because they're going to have a great feast, a really big feast, something even bigger than our Greek festival. And when he comes in, he goes to a place to visit which is called the Pool of Bethesda. It was this big concrete pool. I mean, like a swimming pool. All of you know, and you've been in a swimming pool, but this was a really big swimming pool. And there'd be lots of people around this swimming pool, and they would all be jumping into the water because they believed that this water would not only be fun, but it would also then heal them if they were hurt. Now, why would they believe something like that? Well, the tradition was that an angel from God at certain times would come down into the water and then he would change the water so that the people would become better. Jesus, after coming into the city, he now goes into this area where this big swimming pool is. And he's looking around and he sees this one man who is lying down on a mat. And he's watching him, and he sees that the man can't get up, and he sees that the man is very sad. And so he talks to a few people, and he finds out that this man has been like this for almost 40 years. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine being sick like that for 40 years? How sad you would be and how much you would want to get better? So out of love, Jesus goes over to the man and he asks him, he says, "Do you want to get better?" Now, what would you say? Well, more than likely you'd say, "Yes, I want to get better because I want to jump in that pool and I want to have fun." So he tells Jesus his story about how he was sick and how he really, really wants to go into this pool to feel better. So, what do you think Jesus did? Well, I would think, right, that Jesus would take him and put those like floaties on him, and then he'd wrap him in those floaties, and then he'd put him down in the pool, and then he could enjoy the water. But that's not what Jesus does, because Jesus knows us better than we know ourselves. And he knows what he really wants. And what he wants to be is he wants to be a whole person again. He wants to be able to walk around and go into the pool by himself. It would be nice if Jesus did bring him to the pool, but it'd be even better if he could do it by himself. And so that's what Jesus does, is he looks at the man and he says, "Get up, rise up." And that's exactly what happens. Immediately he stands up. Now, all the other people around, you can only imagine, boy, they must have been going crazy. They must have been in shock. here is this person that they know can't walk for 40 years, and all of a sudden now he's up. And Jesus does something else. He tells him, you know what? Not only get up, I want you to walk. And that's what he does.
Look at me. Up and about.
And so what Jesus did for him is he gave him not what he wanted, but what was needed for him to be made a whole person again and to heal his sickness. And that's who Jesus is to us. Jesus is God. He loves us like our parents love us, and he heals us like doctors heal us. And that's the important thing, is that this is the God that all of us love and pray to. So, probably all of you already know that schools are closed. So, I've got a chance for you to be just like Jesus. There are kids now who, because the schools are closed, don't have a chance to have lunch. Now, you know, when you go to school, there's a certain time and you go and you have lunch, and then you're not hungry. But now with the schools closed, we have children that are hungry. So, here's what I want you to do. I want you to work with your parents, and I want you to collect food to help feed these children that are hungry. And when you collect that, I want you and your parents to bring that here to the church, and we'll take it to those kids. And if you're not from our community, I still want you to work with your parents, and I want you to bring that food then to your community centers or to your churches, because there's a lot of kids that are hungry out there.